Hey! What am I going to say? Welcome to my office. Hey, I'm Andy.
Yeah.
Welcome to my office. Oh, hello. Oh, you're here to take a look around. Come on, come inside. So, welcome to my office. I, as so many people do today, work from home. And as I spend so much time in here, I try to make it as comfortable and practical and efficient as possible. And actually we get quite a few comments from people that watch our content asking about things they see in the background. So I thought we could make a video and we'll call it Office Cribs. All about behind the scenes in people's home offices. So the thing that people most commonly ask about are the helmets in the background. And the thing that people often get wrong is they think that they're full-size helmets. They're not, certainly not gonna fit my head inside one of those helmets. They are all from Formula One. I'm a big Formula One fan. And each helmet will have a story behind it. So, you know, if you look over here, you've got the Lewis Hamilton helmets. Lewis is my favorite. He's in my mind the greatest of all time, along with this guy here, Ayrton Senna, who I just think had one of the greatest sporting mindsets we'll ever see. Over here are some pictures that have meaning to me. They're kind of things that inspire me. So Muhammad Ali, obviously, you know, many would say the GOAT when it comes to boxing. For me, there's this saying he has, "I'ma show you how great I am." And that is something that throughout my professional life, when there's been moments when I felt like people have doubted me, it's something I'll just say over and over in my head, and it's become sort of something that really still inspires me today, that I'm gonna show you how great I am. I'm gonna prove everybody how great I am. Tyson Fury, you know, up against so many mental challenges in his life and came back and is on top of the game. And of course, Niki Lauda, nobody had more challenges than Niki Lauda. He was, you know, in a horrific accident and not only came back to be a champion, but came back like in agony with burns all over his face and stuff like that. So that's what inspires me over there. This is where the magic happens. I spend so many hours in this proximity working on our software platform and talking to our customers, making content, that for me it's really important that it's comfortable, it's practical, it's efficient. And so we have, like, you know, all the nice things built in, you know, got it built in, everything to hand when you need it. Because the thing is this, we spend so much time talking to customers, creating content, everything we want to make sure it's as sharp, as clear as it can be. So, and I try, because I do spend so much time in here, I do try to stand up as much as I can, but I do have the option, should I want to sit down. So over here is much similar to what we saw over there, which is not really artwork. I do like art, but things that inspire me, things that when I see them, they kind of make me want to go and make me want to feel happy with things. And so there's no better example of that than this. So this is Rasca's Corner. That is Nigel Mansell, number 27, driving for Ferrari. And in that window is my dad. And just by chance, he saw this postcard the next year and thought, oh, I remember that race, and picked it up and saw himself in the postcard. So that's really fun. This here, this is something a little bit different. This is a check I wrote for myself. I fictitiously wrote Mark Benioff's signature on it, so don't sue me, but this is a check I wrote to myself for $100 million for Salesforce acquiring our company. I did this just to motivate myself. We never sort of had a goal to sell. But it was just a way of kind of thinking that what I thought the company could be worth one day. Got to a point not too far from when I created that check where I actually ripped it up, because I would never accept that amount of money. So if you're listening, Mark, sorry, it's going to have to be at least 10 times that amount if you want to buy us. But I keep it up there just to remind myself of that. This is my grandparents, and that's my grandfather. He's got an MBE, which you can see here, which is actually signed by the late Prince Philip and Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth, who we recently lost. That is my dad, and that is Nigel Mansell. They're in this postcard together, and they're there as well. My dad's business used to be Formula One magazine, so that's how he got to sort of rub shoulders with those folks. We've got the signed caps by George Russell, Lewis Hamilton. This is quite fun. So this was a gift from Pim, who is our CRO. The story here is that Pim was actually, you may not know this, Pim was actually a customer of ours before he became our Chief Revenue Officer. He was my champion at a deal we did with Cisco. And as a thank you for the great champion he was, I took him and his partner to Zandvoort, which is the Dutch Grand Prix. But the thing was, in between me booking it, he actually joined the company as our chief revenue officer, so it ended up being sort of a working weekend away for us, and he gifted me this amazing car from the 2021 season of Lewis Hamilton, when he absolutely dominated in Brazil. Of course, we know what happened later in that year. It was a travesty, which is interestingly linking to this one, which is the next year's car, which is 2022, which is actually signed by Lewis Hamilton. And this was a gift from a very dear friend of mine, Mike Santonis at CrowdStrike, who kindly gifted me this car and these hats as well. So thank you, Mike, if you're watching this. It takes pride of place. And I have to ask Pim, where's the signature on my gift? This is where the bar is now. I expect signatures. Talking of Pim gifts, this Singer 911 was another gift from Pim, as was this model Lewis Hamilton. He is very generous, is our Pim, and you can see there. I don't really know. He's sleeping, I guess, but that's a thing. Here's the turntable. I know it almost feels daft with today with Spotify, any song pretty much at the tip of your finger, but there's something about vinyl. There's something about putting a record on from an artist that you really like and just letting the whole thing play through. No skipping, no jumping around, no shuffling, just letting the whole thing play through. And as you can see, like, I've got a pretty eclectic mix, you know, NWA, Eagles, Beatles, the Pulp Fiction soundtrack, the Mothers, I don't know what that is, the Carpenters, Phil Collins, Bob Dylan, David Essex, Johnny Cash, the Rolling Stones, more Johnny Cash, yeah. And of course, everybody knows Space Invasion. They were an absolute classic, something or other. So this is the Whyteboard, spelled W-H-Y-T-E. Many people will remember it from the meddicc in 10 minutes video, which is where it all started. It looks a bit different, the tiles look a little bit different, but that video I think is probably got the most views of everything. How many views has it got, producer Nick?
Over 125,000 and counting.
Yeah, wow. So yeah, it's definitely our most viewed video by quite some margin, I expect. Thanks, Nick.
You can call me a geek, but I love this kind of stuff. Everything from the gear to the ornaments, the trinkets, anything of sentimental or motivational value. I just love it. And if you're the same and you have your own stuff you'd like to show off, then please reply below. I'd love to feature it or even do a whole episode with you. And on the topic of working from home, even though meddicc is a remote company, we often meet in person, although in some cases I'm not always invited along. And if you're sensing the dissatisfaction in my voice, this video will explain what I mean.